Okay, so I've got AutoCAD open, and I'm going to use this as a basis for the setup of our project, which is the Mary Street Teachers Federation building. And I'm just going to show you a satellite view of that I have already saved. And we're going to do most of the work modelling this up in Revit, but I want to use AutoCAD as the basis for our site plan. And so I'm going to import this JPEG file and scale it in AutoCAD before I then link that AutoCAD file into Revit. And I will then repeat that process, but import instead this other JPEG file which has my floor plan, and I'll scale that in Revit. So beginning with AutoCAD, that I've already got open, I'm going to start a new file, and a good habit if you're not already doing this is to check the template that it's using and use AutoCAD ISO if it is metric. If you're the only one using your computer, that won't change, but if other people are using it, they might have changed the template. So AutoCAD ISO, not AutoCAD, AutoCAD ISO without anything else. Yep. Yep. So that's metric. That means you've got AutoCAD architecture open. Okay, so I'm just going now to the Insert tab, and then I'll go to the Attach tool. Notice how there are two Attach buttons, but this is the first one in the reference panel. And then, when the dialog box comes up, you just need to make sure that at the bottom it's set to All Image Files. And you can browse to the folder on the P drive, go to Interior Design, oops, let's just do this, P drive, and then EDU DC Interior Design, double click, CAD 4, and then Mary Street, and then 6 map satellite Mary Street. After that, click Open, but don't click OK until you change some settings in this dialog box. So I'm going to turn the Specify on Screen option off for scale, and I'm going to make that 1000. So instead of coming in at a scale of 1, it's going to be 1000 times its original size. And I've just found that's better than the original size. If it's 1, it'll often come in 1 millimetre across, which is very difficult to work with. At least this will be a metre across. I'm going to also turn off the option to specify on screen for the insertion point. So I've got none of the tick boxes there turned on. And I'm going to click OK. And you can see the image there. It's still fairly small, but a lot bigger than it would have been if I hadn't scaled it. Now I'm going to zoom in and find the scale bar in the bottom left corner there. And so we can see, obviously, that that is giving us a measurement. And it's 10 metres across. So it should be 10 metres, but if I measure it using the Measure tool back on the Home tab, I can click on the measuring tape there and just click from one side of that scale bar to the other. Yep, so that's right, it will be about that. So 66, yeah, I'll say 66, a little bit more than 65. Okay, so in our file, it is 66 mil across. We want it to be 10,000. So the way you scale anything really in AutoCAD when you have a measurement and you want to change that measurement into something else is to use the Scale tool. On the Modify panel there, on the Home tab, you click Scale, then click on the border of the image to select it, press Enter, and then type 0, 0, in this case for the base point, Enter, and then the formula that you use for the scale factor is simply the size you want it to be, in this case 10 metres or 10,000 in millimetres, over the size it is, 66. Yep. Enter. Yep. 0, 0 for your base point. Comma. Yep. 0. Enter. Yep. Yep. So anyway, I'll just press Enter to finish scaling this, and then you'll see it's much larger. And just have a go. If you get it wrong, it doesn't really matter because you can then understand how it works by then measuring again the size. So I'm going to measure my scale bar again and make sure it isn't the original size. It should be the new size that we want it to be, which is 10 metres. You can see there it is close enough to 10 metres. It will never be perfect because it's a raster image, but 10,007 is close enough for me. Oh, have you got a P drive there? I'll come back to that in a second. So, okay, so that's the basic process for scaling. I'll just repeat the formula for the scale factor. The size you want it to be divided by the size it is. Okay, so I'm going to save that file. The P drive. Ah, okay. Yeah. Change it down the bottom and make sure it says all image files. Okay, so I'm just going to save the file and make sure I use a logical name. So just make sure you save the file with a logical name. Next step, we'll have a look at importing that into Revit.